everybody, how's it going? I wasn't even paying attention. I apologize about that. But we had a lot of complaints last week on the first episode of the Iron Man suits that we didn't show any images of the suits.
So that means people are actually watching. Yeah.
That is a good thing. So in lieu of that, people wanted images. Here's images. All 90 of them. Hey everybody, welcome to Comic Book 101. I am SuperBeard Vince Hoover, and with me, as always, is
Jason Q. Perez. What's going on, everybody?
Thank you everybody for coming back. This is issue 11, double unos, dos unos. I don't know.
Yeah.
They worked. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we get into the show today, of course, we want to thank our sponsors, and let's go ahead and start with...
Yeah, I wanted to tell you actually a little bit about Comics and Hobbies. It's not your typical comic book store. Instead, think of it more of as like a pop culture store. Whatever you're into, whether it be comics, games, or anime, sports, they have it and more. And Craig and the gang, they're really knowledgeable, and it's worth the trip just to have the conversation with Craig, the owner. But please, while you're there, go ahead and buy something. And there's 3 locations open and several more coming. So Comics and Hobbies has you covered for sure. And they're also the first retail store to carry a brand new Area 52 beard oil and balm, which will be available next week.
Speaking of Area 52 beard oil, the Area 52 Beard Company is coming. Are you tired of terrestrial beard oils drying out your beard and the earthly scents lasting mere minutes? Well, fret no more. Area 52 Beard Co. oil, ET oils, and Xeno bombs are great for the skin and have long-lasting scents that are out of this world. These oils aren't just for beards either. The cold press oils have anti-itch and anti-inflammatory properties, so you shavers out there can use these as pre-shave oil as well. Just look at this luscious SuperBeard, and you can know that it's going to work out just for you as well. It's coming soon. The website will be up March 26th, and as we said before, it will also be in retail locations, Comics and Hobbies, next week. So check that out. Also, real quick shout out to Great Rooms as well. I don't have any of the furniture here on this set, but they have hooked us up with some great furniture for multiple sets, including the couches on their talk and the chairs and everything else, and the TV we're watching as our monitor.
Hey.
So thank you to Great Rooms, available in Spring Hill and Newport Richey. Go check them out for all your furniture needs. Great payments, no credit checks, 6 months, same as cash. So it's a good deal. So, all right, so let's discuss last week a little bit.
That's right. Iron Man armors. We couldn't do it all.
Yeah, we thought it would be a good idea to do the Iron Man armors, and then we realized just how much of a daunting task it was.
In over our head.
A little bit. And we got to like 20 or 21.
Something like that.
Yeah, we were kind of rushed at the very end, kind of like throwing them out there. But we have, doing the math, we have over 60 more to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost 70 more to go. We're going to try to knock them out. We'll see how this goes. But look, there's images. You can see them. This is a little bit slower than the video you saw in our teaser. This will be about 15 seconds each. They're going to pop up, and they're going to go in order. So we'll try to point them out as we go. Hey, look, the Golden Avenger. Was that a hint at something? Maybe. Okay. So yeah, Iron Man suits, and it'll go through. You can keep an eye on that as well. Let's go ahead and jump into MK23. I'm going to let you explain that one. That one I kind of want you to go a little bit in depth on because it's a very interesting armor, one of my personal favorites. So go ahead and do that.
The
but
Mark
stay here
23, I'm gonna sit right here because I'm comfortable. The Mark 23 is called the Thor Buster. So this was actually developed. There was a story where there was a country, I don't remember the name of the country right now, but they actually worship Thor, and that's not a hard stretch. You know, Thor is the thunder god, and the government of that country was very oppressive, and they were trying to squash that religion, and they were very oppressive to the people, and they used a lot of military force. Anyway, they hurt and killed a lot of people. Thor got wind of this, and he decided to come back home to Earth. Well, at least not his home, but our home to Earth, and give him a piece of his mind. So he went to go and confront them, and Tony, being protective as he is, he decided that was probably going to get out of hand, and he didn't really want any more death and bloodshed. So he developed the Thor Buster. Now, the Thor Buster is modeled after the Destroyer armor. If you recall, the Destroyer armor was featured in the first Thor movie. It's one of the artifacts, if you will, that's in the Hall of Artifacts. I don't know what they want to call that.
It was Odin's treasure room.
Right.
It was kind of the guardian of that treasure room too.
Right. It in itself it can function on its own, and someone can use it as armor. Anyway, so it kind of looks like it, and it in fact is powered by an Asgardian gem. I don't recall if there was a name for it particularly, but ironically, it was given to Tony by Thor himself. So yeah, he built the suit. It looks like the Destroyer armor, and they went at it. And
the gem was called the Odin Force or something like that.
Right, yeah, it was powered by the Odin Force. Needless to say, the battle ensued, and it didn't take very long for Thor to get on top of it. He destroyed it pretty good.
Yeah, well, it was a great armor. It was really cool. Thor did immediately destroy the gem itself, basically rendering the entire armor inert, and then thus destroying the armor. So, but what that led into was one of the most technologically advanced, and what led to a huge story arc in Tony's life over multiple comics and different storylines. It was a backstory that was always there doing stuff, and that was the Extremis armor.
Yeah.
The Extremis armor was a bioelectronic nanotechnology that was infused with the super soldier serum, and so you can obviously see why people would want to steal it.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, anything with Tony, granted he is one of the smartest people on the planet, but it's still hackable. Technology's hackable. There's still ways to get. And actually, several of his armors he ended up having to get rid of because either Ultron or somebody else would hack it and take it over. Ultron did it a lot.
Yeah, he was a pain.
Ultron in the movies was created by Tony Stark and Bruce Banner, but the reality is it was Hank Pym that created it.
Correct.
But in the comics, you still find that Ultron and Tony Stark go at it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. So it was a really cool. He actually carried, I believe the Extremis was the one he carried all the way in his bracelet.
Yeah, that was one of those. It was piece by piece, but yeah, it was all tuned to the bracelet. So wherever he was, as long as they could follow the homing signal, it'll go and revert back to him.
Which we did see that in the Avengers movie.
Right.
When he put the bracelets on and while talking to Loki, and then got thrown out the window.
Yeah.
And put it on. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's the next one? We are skipping a couple, but
yeah, I can't fit everything on DJ E-Race over here, but I wanted to mention, I guess, Igor. It's kind of a funny looking armor, and that one was featured in Iron Man 3. Mm-hmm. He was like a really dark blue, and he's really meant for heavy lifting. He had like in one part of the movie, he had like a very, very large jack on his back, and he was supporting some structure that they were fighting on. So I guess he's sort of part of the construction type suits where it's not necessarily built for combat. It's more for either search and rescue or rebuilding. And that was just one that was kind of a fun, not really so cool combat-wise?
Let's talk a minute because we're about to go to commercial, but real quick we'll talk about the Iron Man 3 movie. They showcased quite a bit of different armors in that, and that was actually really cool from a fanboy perspective to see him. Even though you got to see it was only really in glimpses, you did get to see some of them kind of show off what they were good at, like Igor for being one of them. There was the black and gold armor that we have a statue of here in the front popped up. It was cool to see that. The stealth armor, even the Arctic armor. You got to keep an eye out for that. But there's plenty of Easter eggs if you go back and watch that. So I thought that was pretty cool. It sucked that you had to destroy them all.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can understand, like, once you've introduced those, if you don't destroy them, like, you're going to have to introduce them again and show them again because fanboys are going to expect it.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what? Let's just blow those up.
Yeah, he was making his statements, and, it's Tony Stark. It's not like he can't afford to make them all over again and better. So, I'm not shocked there.
Yeah, he has a habit of doing that even in the comics where he would, use a suit for a certain amount of time. Now, he doesn't destroy them, he keeps them, but he puts them away in a vault kind of thing, like a museum of his own, in his own house. But they're locked up. They're not like they're easily accessible. It's because he's done with them, and he's moved on, and he doesn't ever, it's very rare he goes back. And the reason I bring that up is because the latest Iron Man, which is not yet quite debuted in this whole Secret Empire that's going to be coming out, it'll be in there. You'll see Tony Stark take back the mantle of Iron Man. He's actually wearing an old armor. So I'm curious to know what the story is behind that because he doesn't really ever go back. Even in design, it's very rare. Everything is usually just, it's a constant progression forward. So we're going to go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, we're going to jump over to DJ E-Race and start getting these knocked out. So we'll see you in a few minutes. And we are back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are at...
Well, let's see.
DJ Erase, DJ Erase, DJ Erase. All right. All right. So we're all over the board.
Yeah, these are not necessarily in order. And I do apologize if I might have had some of the mark numbers incorrect in the last episode, because I might have gotten mixed up with the MCU, and from what I understand, they're not exactly the same.
Yeah, there's a...
So, sorry.
There's a comic book listing, and then there's a full Iron Man listing, and the numbers don't match up. So, what some consider Mark, say 23, in Earth 616, in the full spectrum of Iron Man suits, including alternate universes, future stories, movies, the whole nine, it could be 30, Mark 34, or whatever, because there's extras. So like we missed right here, right here. We missed the Earth X storyline, which was a dystopian future where you had Iron Mansion, where he built an entire huge skyscraper that wasn't Iron Man to hide in. On top of that, he created the Iron Avengers, which were all robotic versions of dead Avengers out of suits. So that's something in here that's not on the board. And it, again, it kind of screws the numbers up depending on what list you're looking at.
Yeah, that's why I stuck with names and
yeah,
some sort of small.
It's like MK, screw it.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went too. So, all right.
We're here.
I'm at Mark 45, and
trying to pull it up
I don't know if that's exactly accurate, but I'm just going to go with that anyway. So this is one of the space suits. I'm not sure if this was the first one or not. And this, oh man.
Well, that's crap.
we're trying to sync it with the video and maybe see it. If
we almost had it too, and then now it's not even visible because we're over here at the board. So,
oh well. So yeah, this one is one he used when he was fighting with the, not fighting them, but fighting with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
He actually joined them as per a team member. I don't know if he got I don't know. I know the Avengers back in the day had actual ID cards. You got a club membership card. You got an Avengers membership card, and it was how you got into the Avengers Tower and everything. And Jarvis would check it, and of course Jarvis was a real butler, not a robotic program. But I don't know if you join the Guardians of the Galaxy, do you get a membership card? How does that work? Are there benefits? I don't understand.
You get hazed, probably.
You get a piece of Groot stick. That's a good one. Well done, Dylan. Well done.
So, okay, this one had multiple arc reactors beyond the chest. It had some in the arms, individually powering each one of the blaster weapons.
Trying to see if I can find it here.
And this one was also wormhole capable, so he could pretty much arrive or go anywhere in the known universe. And you're going to need all those reactors to power such a device and do that. So I thought that was pretty sweet. And yeah, it still maintains the same color, yellow and red, with a little bit of some styling difference. It was a little bit more slender, but it looked like it would be a little bit more appropriate for space travel and space fighting and maintaining space.
That was, even though it was the red and gold colors, that was one of the times where his mask was vastly different.
Right. Yeah.
It was very different than anything he'd ever done. So that was it. I'm trying to pull it up. Okay, whatever. All right, screw you, phone. I hate you. Go away.
All right, so now going into Iron Boy, when I guess Tony Stark he died, and then he was brought back as a teenager.
Well, okay, so let me explain that storyline, because comics. So he is actually mind controlled and becomes a villain.
That's right.
And then is subsequently killed. In the process of him being a villain, they did need an Iron Man, so they went back in time and grabbed a 16-year-old Tony and brought him back, hoping that he would be the best person to fight an older Tony, because nothing says, how do I beat somebody with age and wisdom, but somebody who's inexperienced and never made a suit before.
Comics.
But, yeah, comics. But,
they did.
Needless to say, it happened. Successfully. But, it was interesting to say the least.
Yeah, this one was thin and cloth-like. It was worn underneath clothing, so you can imagine it was a lot more fabric-like. That's about it.
It was some type of nano Kevlar, big scientific words. I don't know.
And I'm going to jump over to the Iron Transformer. And this was when there was a crossover between Iron Man or Marvel and Bandai's Transformers. Bandai? No, Hasbro.
No,
sorry.
Hasbro.
Sorry. Hasbro's Transformers. Yeah.
Not me. He said it.
I corrected myself quick, too.
That was him.
All right. So, yeah, it kind of had a lot of design similar to what a Transformer would look like, and I imagine it moved and transformed much like it, too.
I can only hope that when he put it on, it made that sound that... That should be awesome. I mean, I realize it's a comic book and you have to read it, but I don't care. In my mind, it made that sound.
And now on to the Iron Maiden. Now, this was part of the Marvel Magaverse. Yeah.
So, remember how I told you Marvel went bankrupt? Yeah, because they were stretching for ideas. The 90s were great and then cruel all at the same time for Marvel. And they hit their highest high and their lowest low within a less than 5-year period. It was crazy. And one of them was in anime and manga, whatever. We're American. Manga. When it came out, it was like the hottest thing in the 90s, so, jump on the bandwagon.
Big eyes.
Yeah, they created the Mangaverse, and then I'm guessing twin sister? Because why would you have your son named Anthony and then your daughter named Antoinette unless they were... Or their George Foreman was the best friend. Could have been George Foreman was their best friend. Because all of George's kids, daughters included, are George. So, but Antoinette...
So Antoinette, yeah.
She became Iron Maiden. She had wings.
Yeah.
And not the Red Bull gives you wings kind of wings, but actual wings. Like Buzz Lightyear wings.
Yes, thank you. I was trying very hard to, where can I
red and
compare
gold
this to?
Buzz Lightyear wings. She didn't have the bubble. She actually had her face was actually very similar to the Guardians of the Galaxy. And I bring that up because we mentioned the Guardians of the Galaxy here, but it actually took place here.
Yeah.
After way after, it only happened a couple years ago. It's only been it's less than 10 years. This is where'd it go? Over 20 years ago. So, God, we're old. It was interesting that they had a very similar face. It was very form-fitting. I don't want to say a whole lot more because this is a all-ages show, but it was very form-fitting. And if you've seen any manga, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So that was, again, very... And the fact that Marvel went that way. It was interesting. Okay.
All right. So then there was a story arc where Marvel kind of had all of their characters in the Elizabethan era. It was called the 1602.
Written by Neil Gaiman, who's one of the best writers in the world. This was he wrote the Sandman comics, which are uber popular. American Gods. Some great books and stories. An amazing writer. And so Marvel approached him and said, what would you like to do? We just want you to work on something. What do you want to do? So he reimagined the entire Marvel Universe back in 1602. But what it wasn't like, what if they just appeared back then? What had actually happened was they were sent back and their minds kind of erased. And the only one that could remember anything was Captain America, but he was unable to speak.
Wow.
He was actually taken in by a Native American tribe, and he was truly Captain America at that point because he was Native American. But he was the only one able to recollect the fact that they were not from this time and something was wrong. But this was really cool. It was very almost steampunk.
Yeah, very steampunk, very big, bulky. What's something I could go compare it to? I want to say Lost in Space, kind of.
Yeah, a similar look to the robot. Danger, Will Robinson.
Globe.
Think Back to the Future 3 and the workshop that Doc Brown had to have with the giant ice maker and kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That was how it kind of was. Granted, that's 1885
right.
and not 1602, but you get where I'm going with this. A lot of steam power, a lot of brass, a lot of metals that would rust. Nothing, obviously, but no iron.
Right, no iron.
So
it was powered by bottles of lightning, and I don't remember them really expanding upon that. So it's kind of like, here, this is it. Just run with it, okay?
Well, I have the graphic novel, and I can tell you that it's really not touched on at all, except for that Tony says he literally captures lightning in a bottle. So I can only assume he Ben Franklin's the crap out of it, and just has a lot of keys and a lot of kites and a lot of jars. That's the only thing I can think of. But if you've ever seen like Stardust, which by the way, written by Neil Gaiman, fantastic movie, fantastic graphic novel. Go get both. Charlie Cox, by the way, who plays Daredevil in the Netflix series, is the lead in that movie, and Henry Cavill plays his romantic counterpart, who is Superman. So you have both Marvel and DC. You also have Hasbro in there because the woman who he's originally going after plays the evil Baroness in the G.I. Joe movies. So boom, full circle. I'm that good. Thank you very much. But again, Neil Gaiman story. They have Robert De Niro's character is a lightning pirate, and they actually capture lightning. They have a technique to doing it, and then they can store it. So I'm sure when he wrote it, it was something along that similar lines of being able to literally just capture lightning in bottles. So that's pretty cool. So.
All right, so now moving on to Emperor Stark. This was part of the Exile series. Interesting.
Yeah, this was a great series. It basically, where DC kind of tries to either hide the multiverse or go way too deep into the multiverse thought, like they go on both ends of the spectrum with it. Marvel kind of tongue-in-cheeks with the multiverse, and they're doing it again now with a bunch of different things, and like I said, they took a stab at DC recently, which I thought was really funny, but we'll get into that another time. The Exiles were literally a group of mutants that could jump from multiverse to multiverse to multiverse, mainly through Blink. Blink was an X-Men character. She was in X-Men Days of Future Past. Right. She was the one that could create portals that they could jump through and stuff like that. And she will also be in the new X-Men series coming out on Fox soon that is yet to be titled. But Blink will be in that as well. Now, as they're jumping through, they reach one universe where basically, instead of Victor Von Doom being Reed Richards' biggest enemy, Tony Stark and Reed Richards are at odds. So Tony takes the villainous role of Dr. Doom by becoming Emperor Stark. So he's got an Iron Man suit with a big frowny cut, very similar to Dr. Doom's, and then of course he's wearing the green Dr. Doom cloak. So you don't ever get to see I didn't read the whole story on it. I don't remember if you ever got to see the whole armor without the cloak.
No.
But it looked very similar though.
And awesome, all with the cloak.
So,
okay, the Iron Mandrill.
Okay, in the end, this happened.
Yeah. So
this comes off the tail end of the Marvel Zombies success. Marvel Zombies were highly successful. It's where another universe where a zombie plague literally just takes over, and heroes and villains alike all become
flesh-eating zombies.
Flesh-eating zombies, and then they attack Galactus, who comes to eat the planet, and they eat him, gaining celestial cosmic powers, and then it goes all kinds of crazy.
Woo-ha.
As the term goes, ape-esque crazy, which led to this.
Hey, look at
that.
So
Marvel, in their infinite wisdom, once again, thought, hey, the strange zombie version of our heroes worked. What if we did another version of them? What are you thinking? Dogs? No. Cats? Nah. Monkeys? Wait a minute.
I think you're onto something.
They did
Monkeys,
it. They did Marvel Apes. Straight up, whole series. I'm not kidding. This was not a one-shot. There was a series, and there was Iron Mandrill. So Tony Stark was a mandrill red-assed monkey.
All right.
Yeah. So we're totally skipping the second commercial break because this is a lot to freaking cover.
All right. So the Model 48. This was
by issue 42. We'll have this.
Yeah. All right. Just keep tuning in. All right. The Model 48 was built to fight the Dark Elves. This is another one that was really interesting.
Yes. So this one is the only armor to ever actually be made out of iron.
Wow.
Iron Man had been around since 1963. The fight against the Dark Elves happened maybe 10 years ago. Maybe. In that whole period, he had never had iron in his suit ever until now. But that's because iron actually affects elves. It's poisonous and it hurts them much more than a normal blade would. So he made his entire suit out of actual iron. And I do believe that the Model 48 actually fit over another suit. Like he wore a suit and jumped into the 48 iron suit Because I can only imagine it would have been too heavy to.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Without
it's
the
a
other suit
lot.
inside to help lift it, I can only imagine it being too heavy and wouldn't move very fast. And the Dark Elves are known for their speed and
Yeah,
abilities.
you
So,
kind of need that.
but yes,
advantage.
so this was the only suit. The Model 48 was the only suit made out of iron. I'm going to say that again. There might be a reason I'm emphasizing this. The Model 48 was the only suit made out of iron.
4, 8.
Write this down. Okay.
All right, now moving on to Model 52. This is the part of the all-new, all-different Marvel. This one is red and yellow again, kind of bulky, converts into a car.
Yeah, this was it was kind of like Transformers meet Batman. It's where Tony Stark decided he needed his own Iron Mobile. And of course, being Iron Man, he had to have it where it could actually be a suit. But it looks bigger than the Hulkbuster. It just looks awful to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's just, nah, I'm good. I didn't like it, but the all-new, all-different Marvel didn't really pan out all that well either.
No.
I mean, they're trying again, using the same tagline of all-new, all-different, and it might work. I'm not ever going to give up on Marvel.
No.
I still have some of the greatest characters of all time.
Gotta stay true and loyal.
And with what they've got coming up, I think they might be able to redeem themselves, even though they have made Captain America a villain. I don't like that.
No.
That hurts.
Listen to
Heart.
us, Marvel. That's
But-
not cool. Okay. All right.
So-
Moving on to the stealth armor. This is the second model. This was made to actually fight the Black Panther. This one was non-metallic. It was made of bi-weave Kevlar and ceramics. So, and it was able to form around damage. If there was a piece that was damaged and fell off, the ceramics were able to mold and reshape themselves back to protect it. I thought that was pretty neat. And actually, the coloration, that's almost like white.
Yeah, and it had that weird pink,
Yeah.
like I don't know, like, because there's something else, like it says it's non-metal, it's Kevlar and ceramic. There's something else. And I never got to read that story, and I want to go research that story, because if you look back at the Illuminati of Marvel, and they're actually called the Illuminati,
Yes.
Black Panther and Tony Stark are both part of that. So for him to go after Black Panther, I want to know why. So that's one of the ones I've missed. You know what, guys? We can't read them all.
No.
There's too many. We're talking over 75 years of stories and stories and stories and stories. So we'll get to it, though. We'll find out. But
right.
it was really cool looking. It looked, yeah, like I said, almost white, and then I had this pink, I want to say jelly-like.
Yeah, there was some organic features to it. It could not resist the not adamantium, but what is Black Panther's called?
Vibranium.
Vibranium. It could not resist that. I mean, but it did well enough to adapt when it was damaged.
So that was pretty cool.
All right, so the Heavy G armor. This was used in a particular episode or issue, if you want, when Tony had to go after an asteroid that was threatening Earth, I guess, or some other place, and he was going to face a lot of, heavy gravity. So he built once again a very bulky armor to help him lift and move around.
Yeah, it looked like his feet and arms got stung by bees,
Yeah, they were very swole.
but the rest of them wasn't. It was very weird, and it looks still like if you read that comic, it still is he's struggling with the gravity.
Yeah, you can see
still
like
looks like
the
it's pulling
one
him
shot
down.
that I found. You could see him like he's
Yeah, it looks like he's having a really hard time.
himself.
It'll actually come up at some point in the spool, but it was weird. That same exact shot you're talking about, but.
So, okay, the Iron Maniac is from an alternate world where, as it turns, I don't know if I want to give it over. Go ahead, do a little back.
Yeah, so this one is actually a flip from Emperor Stark. So instead of Tony Stark being the Doctor Doom of that universe, Doctor Doom is the Tony Stark of this universe.
Yeah.
So he creates the armor, but it has very much the feel of Doctor Doom in the look, except for it was like gray and.
Right, it was not
Like
your
a dull
typical red, green, or gold. No, it was not.
And it wasn't all gray and green. It was like a dull matted silver and a matted lavender like color. So that was interesting.
All right, and the satellite armor. This one was actually launched from a satellite out from the atmosphere, and this was during the time where he was the head of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And this one's weird because I don't really know if you can consider it an armor, because it would technically be a robot because it was controlled, like it was a giant. It was the whole satellite.
We're getting there.
Oh, there's the gravity one, which we can't show you, but it's there. It was a massive satellite that transformed into a fighting robotic armor that Rhodey actually controlled.
Right.
So I guess it's an armor.
Yeah, this was used to battle the Skrulls, and I don't know much about the Skrulls.
They're actually really cool. There was actually a great storyline called I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh crap! I forgot what it's called. But there was where Skrulls have the ability to shapeshift. So there were several heroes and villains who weren't who they were. They were Skrulls that had infiltrated and were using the information they were learning about the people around them as a way to come back and fight in a way that they could fight. So it was very interesting. Skrull started out as a Fantastic Four villain.
Oh, I gotcha.
There was the Super Skrull, which took on the four abilities of the Fantastic Four. They fought the Inhumans, all kinds of different things. They're actually the reason the Inhumans exist. Skrulls came down to Earth during primitive times, did experiments and put their DNA inside of some of the humans.
Right.
And then when a Terrigon Mist gets released, your powers come to fruition. In an unexpected manner. You never know what it's going to be. You never have any choice. Which, by the way, Inhumans is filming right now in Hawaii. It should be a killer show. I really think it's going to be good.
Hope so.
The casting has been fantastic. They're going to have Lockheed, the giant dog. The costumes are pretty much dead on. So it looks really, really good.
All right, speaking of the Fantastic Four, there was a time where Tony Stark and a few other non-Fantastic Four members were the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, this was in a What If series. Literally, Marvel used to have a great series called What If, which I think is one of the most brilliant things you can do.
Yeah.
Instead of creating this alternate universe where people are like, wait, what happened? It's like, what if this happened? We're going to put it right on the cover, what if? So this is a side story of what could happen. And a lot of times they ended up almost terribly. They almost all ended in a bad thing. And it was a kind of like this is why we didn't do this.
Right.
Because this is how it would have ended up. So it was almost shut your mouth, we know what we're doing kind of thing. But it was really cool. And one of them was like, what if the Fantastic Four was different? So it was Hulk, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Iron Man.
Yes, and it was black and blue, and he had the 4 right on the chest. Other than that, it wasn't really much different.
It looked pretty standard. It was a standard suit, just different colors. And it had a 4 instead of a blank spot.
Okay. All right, the Cancerverse armor. This is another alternate universe where the Avengers were referring to themselves as the Revengers.
Yeah. This one was interesting. Nobody could die.
Yeah.
Nobody in the world could ever die. The ability to die was taken away. So from the dawn of time on, anybody born was alive. So you're talking about, and they called it the Cancerverse because the planet was completely wiped out as if we were a cancer that wouldn't die. And the heroes, instead of being heroes, were villains because it was just too much. It wasn't worth it. It was almost like, well, screw it.
Yeah.
It's like nobody could die, so what does it matter? You can't kill anybody. What does it matter? So they became villains, and then so that was an interesting.
It was powered by what's called the many-angled ones force. I don't know any of that. I'm gonna claim ignorance on that one.
Yeah, that was. Hold on, I'm actually gonna. I need to get some notes on that. I have notes, but let me get the notes. All right, hold on. I'm gonna get there.
So yeah, I mean, there's like I said, it wasn't able to cover a lot of these. I recall there was a suit made for Pepper Potts.
Rescue.
It was a rescue. It was kind of more built for recovery. She had gotten injured by some shrapnel, and it was there to protect. It had very minimal defense weapons, but otherwise it used a lot of therapeutic methods to help her with pain and recovery. What else?
I'm gonna find it here. Well, the subterranean armor was a good one. Problem is he had a submarine armor, subterranean. He came with all these modular armors around the time he did the. Where'd it go? You had it on here. I could have sworn.
Which one? You're looking for...
Or not, whatever. Don't mind me. There was he came out with a bunch of different suits that were actually controlled remotely while he was in a suit. He controlled other suits. Well, Ultron took over all those. So there was a submarine one, a subterranean one. There was 5 of them, and he took them all over, and it was awful and awkward. But they were the most different looking armors. But they were vastly different, each one of them, and it was really interesting to see these different takes on them.
Oh, there's
trying to see if I can pull up the Cancerverse.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, there's Rescue. Yeah.
All right.
All that stuff and all that when I can't tell you. All right. So when we come back from break, I will go more into the Cancerverse, and then we'll discuss some more stuff, including
trivia.
Call in the Win segment is going to be up. So we'll see you when we get back. All right, and we are back, and we're in the final stretch. You know what that means?
Yep, it's time for trivia.
Time for Call and Win Trivia.
Boom!
Thank you.
Epic Colin.
All right, so call in right now to 813-982-4049. And the question is this. What is the nickname of the second armor, the one that Q and I so nicely coined the MK 1.5 in last episode, that he has? Now, it's a variation of his original armor. So what was the nickname of that armor? It had a great nickname. We emphasized it last week. You've watched the episode. You know the answer. So call in 813-982-4049 right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've covered a lot. We skipped a lot.
Let's see. What one are we on?
There's Superior.
Yep.
We haven't talked about that one yet.
I thought we covered that one on the first episode.
Oh, yeah, we did. That was the one with the symbiote in it,
Yeah.
which made him evil. Those nasty symbiotes.
Every single time.
Which, by the way, there's a storyline going on that's going to happen this summer called the Venomverse, where the symbiote affects pretty much everyone, apparently.
That's what I heard.
So that ought to be interesting. Also, they've announced officially the Venom movie will be coming out.
Good.
And a Black Cat Silver Sable movie as well in the Spider-Man universe. However, as of right now this isn't from Sony and this isn't from Marvel. This is from the same reporter that announced the Sony Marvel deal for Civil War, has said that the Venom and Black Cat Silver Sable movies will not be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Which doesn't make any sense to me, considering if they're part of the Spider-Man universe, and now that the Spider-Man universe is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, how could they not be part of it?
Oh, man.
Even so much as you don't have to have the actual... Like, it may be not so much that they're not part of it, it may just be more of a... We won't see any other Avengers or Marvel characters besides Spider-Man universe characters in it, but they're still going to exist in that universe, and it can lead to a lot of things.
Right.
There is also the rumor that by the end of the Infinity War storyline, Peter Parker will have the black symbiote costume. Like it pigtails with piggybacks with Thanos to Earth or something. But he will. That is a rumor, and of course, rumors are said to be taken with a grain of salt. But by the way, call in now.
So what's the prize?
813. Oh, good point. 813-982-4049. What is the nickname for the second iteration of Iron Man's original costume, uniform, suit? That's what it's called. So the prize is Iron Man Industrial Revolution. Ooh, we have a call. Sweet. Iron Man loses everything. Tony Stark's life is in a downward spiral. Obadiah Stane took his company and his fortune, leaving Stark to live on the streets of Los Angeles. He is too desolate to even fuel his armor, and his fellow heroes have decided not to help him to see whether the once great man can build himself back up. Wow, what a dick move. Believing he can help the residents of his new neighborhood, the impoverished Imperial section of LA, Tony begins to rebuild his company and his life with the help of some new friends. Unfortunately for Stark, nothing happens in the City of Angels without the consent of the villains known as the Pride. Knowing Iron Man is a threat to the criminal empire, the Pride quickly targets Stark for destruction. Outnumbered and outgunned, powerless and penniless, Tony Stark has everything to fight for and nothing to lose. So again, Industrial Revolution.
That's a pretty hard cover.
We have someone on the line. Who do we have on the line?
Hi, my name is Veronica.
Hi, Veronica. So can you tell me the name of the nickname given to the second iteration of Iron Man's original suit?
I think it is the Golden Avenger.
That's correct.
Armor?
It is the
Yeah.
Golden Avenger.
All right.
Awesome.
Great, thank you.
Fantastic. Stay on the line. Dylan will get your information. And this Iron Man Industrial Revolution trade paperback is all yours. Thank you so much for watching. Tell your friends, everybody to tune in. We appreciate it greatly.
Thank
All
you.
right, sounds great. Thank you.
Awesome. Fantastic. So, that went a lot better than last week.
Wow. Yeah, that was with little to no technical errors.
Yeah, that went very well. So that was great. I love it when we get winners and we get to give stuff out. So enjoy this. It's a very interesting story. It's one I've actually not read, so I will have to read it myself.
Yeah, neither have I.
It's Collecting the Iron Man Legacy number 6 to 11, written by Fred Van Lant, illustrated by Steve Kurth and Felipe Briones. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but let's go with that. This is from the Marvel Premiere Edition. So very, very cool. I'd actually like to see what Tony does being penniless and whatnot. From the looks of it, he actually has to go with an old armor too, so that might be interesting as well. So
a little bit more on the Cancerverse?
Yeah, so the Cancerverse, the mini angled ones. I don't know who they are. So, what was interesting about it though is, I'm trying to remember now. I may not have gotten to the end of the Cancerverse. I don't know if they actually tell you who those are. I'm trying to think of what it is. I can't remember.
Maybe
But
they don't.
the suit looked almost like a knight's armor. It was very interesting. We're not even close at this point. It's gone back on the loop and it's going back around. It was. It literally had like the metal grate.
The face mask.
Face mask and whatnot. So
the mouth mask.
One thing I forgot to do, I wanted to open the show with this, and Dylan just reminded me, and thank you for that, is I got some really awesome shoes.
Oh yeah, I was with them when
so
I bought it.
I have. Okay, I'm not moving my feet. I'm not moving.
We were commanded not.
I was told not to move. So
Robotic camera.
There they are. Check those out. They are Marvel shoes. Are those not just awesome? They have little Hulks, little Iron Mans, little Captain Americas, little Spider-Mans, little Thors. Are there Spider-Man on them?
Yeah, I think I see one at the toe.
It's Thor. No, that's Thor. Yeah, it's just the Avengers minus Spider-Man. It's the original, like Avengers 1 movie, Avengers. But it's their old classic, like, 80s look. So it's really cool. So these are awesome. I try to get as much geeky stuff like this as I can. I have, Flash shoes and stuff, which I'm kind of thinking next week we need to cover the Flash and the Speed Force.
Yeah.
Somebody is wearing a Star Industry shirts after all. Kind of as a prelude.
Yeah.
A little preview there for next week. So I think next week we'll definitely cover the Flash. He is one of my favorites. And if you're not watching CW's Flash, there's something wrong with you because it's the greatest show on television.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So there's so many other. We missed a lot of. I'm gonna be honest. We missed quite a few of the suits. We did. It's just I don't have an entire season to put towards this.
Oh yeah.
So we cover the best ones. We covered the ones that people need to know about. We covered a lot of ones you didn't know about. But what was that, Dylan? Oh, I shifted my seat. Sorry.
So last Saturday was really cool.
So let's talk about that.
That's when you got your.
That's when I got my shoes. But we went to Think Geek had a Marvel cosplay event this past Saturday, so that was really cool. You got to dress as Doctor Strange.
I was Doctor Strange, and I did interviews.
That was
so
pretty
you can
cool.
catch those interviews on Nerd Talk tomorrow night.
Your wife got second place as Squirrel Girl.
That's right.
That was
Y'all know
pretty
who Squirrel
awesome.
Girl is?
If you don't know who Squirrel Girl is, I don't even. If you're watching this show, I'm pretty sure you know who it is. If you don't know who it is, go find out. Awesome character. Awesome character. While we were there, we also went by Comics and Hobbies.
That's right.
Our great sponsor. The deal last week is extended again this week. Buy 3, get 1 free on all Funko Pop vinyls, including the Q-Figs and anything from Funko. It's going to be buy 3, get 1 free, including the new ones. It's not just clearance ones. It's not just the old ones. It's the brand new ones. And Comics and Hobbies has some exclusive that nobody else has. So go down there, check it out. You can go to Clearwater at Countryside Mall. There's Palm Harbor on US 19. There's Lakeland at the Lakeland Town Center. And pretty soon coming to several other locations as well. So keep that in mind. It's going to be awesome. Go down there and get them. And it's also, tell them Comic 101 sent you.
Yes.
All your subscriptions, new subscriptions, 25% off for the life of that subscription. So, in fact, I'm probably going to go down there myself. We got the new DC Rebirth coming up next month with Batman and Flash talking about the comedian's button. So another reason we're going to push the Flash next week is that's coming up, so I want to kind of cover that too. So,
yeah, I remember we saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 figurines, which I don't think are available yet.
Yeah, he's had them now for over a month, and they just, I think, became available other places like a week ago. So that's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Craig's got
awesome
the hookup
store,
for sure.
man.
He knows what to do. He has the right connections. And the thing is, and I explained this to somebody about that store. Most people get into business because they want to make money. They don't care about the customer. They care about profit. Even in the comic book industry, yes, they love comic books, which is why they chose that industry, because they want to make sure they're doing something they like. But at the end of the day, they're all about making that dollar. Craig understands the product and the customer so well that he makes his dollars by not overselling and belittling his customers. He gets the right stuff in. He knows what the trends are. He stays on top of it. And he treats his customers with respect. Everybody's always greeted in his stores. Everybody's greeted with a smile. Talk to him about anything. You don't get attitude for not buying. You're not mistreated in there. You're not forced to go buy this because that's what they want to sell or what they need to sell. It's whatever you want, get it. So it is pretty awesome. And I'm so looking forward to partnering with him with the Area 52 beard oil.
Yep. Be on the lookout.
Yeah, that's going to be in his store starting next week, so that's pretty exciting. Super happy about that. We get nothing but positive responses on that, and it's really exciting. We got a lot going on, but a lot of good things. So everybody stay tuned. Next week we're going to have more trivia. Next week we're going to have more fun stuff. We're going to talk to Flash.
Going to jump over to DC for a minute.
I'm super excited about that. I'll get to wear my Flash Converse, which I love so much. And I'm a huge Flash fan, so he's one of my all-time favorites. He's right up there with Superman. He really is. So it's fantastic. We're going to have a good time. I am SuperBeard.
I am Jason Q. Perez.
God bless, and we'll see you later. I literally watched him do it, and as we were just on screen, it was awesome.